Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new explainer. Today, we are uncovering the absolute spiritual backbone of the North. We're going to be exploring the incredible stories, the myths, and the legends that literally shaped the Scandinavian soul. It's going to be a fascinating journey, so let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive right into this. I only wanted to be inside the light. Just think about that for a second. These are the tragic, incredibly isolated inner thoughts of the monster Grendel, right? Straight out of the Epic of Beowulf. You see, these stories, they aren't just dry, ancient myths about guys hitting each other with heavy swords. Not at all. They are deep, deep psychological explorations of isolation, of community, and honestly, the sheer pain of being on the outside looking in. And that leads us directly to a really profound moral question, one asked by the loyal warrior Wiglaf. Is a monster still a monster if all it wanted was to be let in? It is just amazing how an age-old script like this can completely flip our modern perspectives on heroism and how we view the outsider. And really, this is exactly the kind of timeless wisdom we're going to be unpacking today. Now, to guide us through all this, we are relying on a fantastic source material called Voices from the North. It's this massive educational collection that features 10 full dramatic scripts drawn from 6 entirely different nations. We're talking Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Norway, Iceland, and the Faroe Islands. It truly brings authentic Norse mythology and epics to life, and it really just validates the sheer scale and richness of the material we're exploring. Now, what's genuinely fascinating here is how elegantly these seemingly sprawling tales group into 3 very distinct traditions. First up, you've got Norse mythology, which really focuses on gods, cosmic scales, and massive sacrifice. Second, the epic legends. These are all about building cultural identity through heroic deeds. And third, the folktales, where everyday human cleverness really takes center stage. These 3 pillars, they perfectly structure exactly how Northern Europeans viewed their universe. So here is our roadmap for the explainer today. Section 1, Gods, Giants, and Epics. Section 2, Spirits of the Wild. Section 3, Ordinary Heroes, Extraordinary Hearts. And finally, Section 4, The Power of Storytelling. All right, moving right along to Section 1, Gods, Giants, and Epics, the cosmic weight of myth. Mapping the evolution of these tales, we actually have to begin way, way back in the Viking Age. This is with the ancient oral traditions preserved in the Norse Eddas, which are essentially the master rulebooks of Viking mythology. Then we take a massive jump forward to the 19th century, which was a time of huge nation building. In 1835, Finland's Kalevala is published. Then in the 1840s, Asbjørnsen and Moe travel the Norwegian countryside collecting vanishing folktales. And right around that same time, 1844, Hans Christian Andersen writes The Snow Queen. So we're really looking at a clear evolution here, from ancient religious texts straight through to defining literary fairy tales. And the contrast within these Norse traditions is just wild. On one hand, you have these absolutely hilarious stories, like Thor literally dressing up in a bridal veil and eating 8 whole salmon just to trick a giant and get his stolen hammer, Mjolnir, back. But then you have the grim reality of Odin. To gain the ultimate wisdom of the runes, Odin literally sacrifices his own eye to Mimir's well, and he hangs himself on the world tree, Yggdrasil, for 9 harrowing days. No food, no water. It really shows this core Norse belief that true wisdom, it isn't free. It demands incredible, painful sacrifice. We also see the weight of epic actions in Finland's national epic, the Kalevala. In it, there's this magical artifact called the Sampo, and it was meant to produce infinite wealth. But through greed and a massive battle at sea, it ends up shattered. Now, this is absolutely crucial to Finnish identity. The ancient sage of the story realizes that the shattered pieces drifting ashore are actually a blessing. It forged this profound idea that shared, scattered abundance, bringing life to the whole land, is far, far better than a single hoarded treasure locked away under a mountain somewhere. Let's transition over to Section 2, Spirits of the Wild, Bargaining with Nature. To really understand this connection to nature, we have to talk about the Holderfolk. These are the hidden people. We're talking elves, trolls, and water spirits like the Nixie. Ancient communities genuinely believed these spiritual forces lived right there, just out of sight. And this wasn't just silly superstition. It represented a living, breathing relationship with the land itself, a relationship that demanded humility and deep, deep respect from humanity. And this brilliantly illustrates how humans dealt with them. In a Swedish folktale, to get her son back from the trolls, a mother tries this absolutely brilliant, absurd trick. She solemnly pretends to cook a massive amount of porridge for a harvest crew, but she does it inside a tiny single eggshell. The sheer absurdity of it actually astonishes the hidden creature into shouting out that in 300 years it has never seen anything so ridiculous. And just like that, the troll's cover is blown. The mother successfully outwits it to recover her child. No swords needed, just pure cleverness.
But, interactions with the wild were often really heartbreaking, too. Take the legend of the Selkie, a seal woman whose skin is stolen by a fisherman, trapping her on land to be his wife. Years later, she tells her human child, "I love you more than the moon loves the tide, but there is a part of me that was always elsewhere." It's just so poignant. It perfectly anchors that whole North Atlantic experience, capturing this profound tension between captivity, human love, and an absolute deep in-your-bones longing for true freedom in the sea.
That brings us to Section 3, Ordinary Heroes, Extraordinary Hearts. Warmth versus cold logic. A perfect example of this ordinary hero is the Norwegian folk figure Askeladden, or the Ashlad. If you contrast him with his older brothers, the difference is night and day. The brothers are proud, they're arrogant, and they rely entirely on brute strength and fine horses, and they completely fail to ride up the glass mountain to win the princess. But the Ashlad? He's humble, he's patient, he simply pays attention to the little details in the forest, which leads him to find magical copper, silver, and gold armor. He succeeds because he is observant when everyone else is just way too proud to look. We see a very similar battle play out in Hans Christian Andersen's The Snow Queen. On one side, you have the Snow Queen and the enchanted boy Kai, who value cold perfection and cynical logic. Kai is literally trapped trying to spell the word eternity using pieces of ice. But then there's his friend Gerda. She values friendship, messy human emotions, and unstoppable, warm love. So the crucial point is, it's Gerda's warm, real tears that actually wash the demon splinter right out of Kai's eye. Warmth utterly and completely defeats cold, calculating logic. And these stories are just full of highly active, determined heroines. In the fairy tale East of the Sun, West of the Moon, the girl doesn't just sit around waiting to be rescued. No way. She journeys to the absolute ends of the earth to save her enchanted prince from a troll queen. Her bravery is so profound that even the eldest, strongest element of nature, the north wind itself, tells her, "I respect courage. Hold tight." Okay, let's move into our final section. Section 4, the power of storytelling. Why these myths matter today. If you look closely at almost all of these tales, you'll notice the number 3 is incredibly powerful. Think about it. The Ashlad finds 3 magical armors. The girl drops exactly 3 drops of tallow on the bear prince. The miller's wife has to perform 3 tasks to defeat the Nixie of the millpond. Folklore relies heavily on this repeating structure. It's like a built-in memory trick to successfully pass down wisdom across generations. And the real-world application of this wisdom is just massive. The collections of these fairy tales literally helped forge national identities for Norway and Finland during critical times when they really needed to define themselves. Plus, the magic, the monsters, and the epic scope of the North that directly inspired J.R.R. Tolkien's modern mythologies. The ancient Scandinavian worldview continues to build our modern literature, and honestly, our sense of community today. Which brings us right back to where we started. I want to end this explainer with a final provocative thought derived directly from our source material. Ponder this for a moment. Who are the Grendels of our own time? Who is the excluded, the misunderstood outsider today? These ancient tales challenge us to look at how our modern society responds to those who are shut out from our own warmth and community. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through the Scandinavian soul. Keep asking questions, keep looking for those hidden truths, and keep learning. Catch you next time.